Hello, Internet. My name is Chamomile.
I'm Requiem.
Congratulations,
Sorry
Aurora.
about last time. I
Today,
got
you'll
lost in
receive
the
the title
maze,
of
but I found
Baroness
you.
before
And
the High Society of Restar.
did you make yourself a
Do you
flower
want to
crown?
tell us or Tova
No,
what's new? God
as
bless her.
typically happens whenever
Now
you are
you'll be able to return
mysteriously
to the
absent for
Shadow
45
Realms
to
in
60
bliss.
minutes, a new co host showed up to take your place, and she made me a flower crown, which is apparently just a thing that she does.
Yeah. I mean, was she a good co-host?
Matters of state
Yeah,
consent.
I mean,
Now enjoy this feast
worked
and
out pretty
know
well.
all the
I'd have her
Are
splendor
you
on
of
gonna
again
this
if,
is a great
the next time you
opportunity for
vanish
useful
somewhere.
connections.
are you gonna keep the flower crown?
I don't see why not.
Speaking of connections, let me introduce you to Casil Aldori. He's my adopted son and apprentice. He's a trustworthy man. I'd like to send him with you as an envoy.
Alright, I will put him in Oleg's outpost and never take him out.
He's not a party member. He can just be used as an advisor.
Doubly so then.
And the game's gonna give you an option of two other party,
Enjoy your evening.
not party members,
If you're
advisor.
ready for the official part, come to me.
Right, that guy on your left immediately, down and to the left, directly down.
Lander?
That's a potential advisor. The up, lander.
Our potential
Now,
advisor is 17 years old?
yes. Now, he is a twink. But I've heard he does a very bad job as being an advisor. So the question is, how many do we have enough twinks? Like,
This is a ridiculous question. There's never enough.
are we going to pick him even knowing he messes up?
I'm sure I'll make it work. He's a twink. We have standards. We have a theme here.
All right, take your shirt off. There's also like an old lady you can talk to who's a potential advisor, but since he's not a twink, I don't know if we even need to talk to her. Thinking Talia maybe.
My lands will be the first to endure a strike from Brevois forces. How? Won't they no longer have a land border with me? And really, what I took away from there is that I just shouldn't take the half-orc kid that Jamandi is trying to push on me.
So, how do you like our little gathering? I hope you've made some useful connections. Shall we move on to the official proceedings? My apprentice, Casil Aldori, will go with you, won't he? Oh,
Nah,
heir of House Levita. Naive enough to think
I'm gonna
you're one
take
of
the
the
guy
organizers
who's
here?
shitty but
Have you
hot.
asked him? Who knows what he has in mind?
Well, now we have 6 twinks, so we can make another love triangle.
Excellent. Stand here.
So how does the Lander, Blevin, Wildheart love triangle function?
And you say 6, but we've got 7. There is Tristan.
We are here to honor 3
Oh.
brave people who have done the impossible. They've
All right, so
tamed
what is
and
of those
stolen
4? What's the best love triangle you can come up with?
I don't know much about Lander.
The new master of Glenavon,
Just thinking about Wildheart and Blevin.
the conqueror of Dunsworth, and finally,
What's Blevin like?
the tamer of the
He was from the
Shadows,
Autumn Court.
who put an end to the atrocities of the Stag Lord's bandits.
He's a Shadow Mastiff, but because this was, I'm going to defend myself here. Pathfinder takes a lot of things that supposed to be hot guys. There's no hot guys in Pathfinder. So me turning a Shadow Mastiff into a hot guy is totally defensible because it's evening things out.
Your grace.
I will not make any comment.
But he's a Shadow Mastiff, and as I recall, he just kind of showed up to observe as like an observer after that alliance was fomented.
Right. Okay. Tristan is a somewhat sheltered and naive little boy. And so he is just overwhelmed with Wildheart's passion and, his sort of bad boy edge. You know, he's got that kind of disregard for the law, but not overtly malicious kind of attitude to him. So Tristan has a crush on Wildheart. Trying to figure out which twink can I plug into the third corner there. I feel good about that pair.
Victory. The Stag Lord's dead, and the capital of the new barony has been built in place of his fort. That was how the long and challenging taming of the Stolen Lands began.
Now they're calling me Baroness, but my proper title is Princess. Also, I don't know if we're going to see it, but there's a fun statue coming up.
Oh boy. Never seen anything like this in my whole life. An entire city just kind of showed up. Okay, so we got Tristan and Fireheart, we've got Blevin and Lander in the wings. I'm gonna wait until see how this Lander guy shakes out.
But we will be getting updates on the love triangle.
Yes.
You never have enough twink love triangles.
Like, depending on how much we see of Lander's personality, we may be getting an update on the love triangle by the end of this episode. Because if Lander's not going to work, then I got to try to find some way to fit Blevin in.
Blevin is dark, it's brooding, he's from the Autumn Court, he refuses to wear a shirt, regardless of the circumstances. Also, he is technically a dog, so he is a good boy.
Of course, what I could do is I could try to make a love septangle.
Are you up for the challenge, though?
It's a good question. I would have to I have to create a Google image, a Google drawing,
Right,
whatever
so
they call
statue,
that.
it's a bunch of satyrs and a nymph. So they knew what Sullivan was. They
Perfect.
decided to run with it. Like, well, we're just going to be ruled by a fae, so we might as well lean in.
Yeah, nah, like they showed up to while Sullivan was, attending to the official ceremonies and such. One of the sculptors who was like, yes, we need a monument to commemorate the founding of our new barony. Who among you is, the official minister of culture? And Ashlan was the first one to put his hand up.
He's like, I'm also willing to model for you.
Yes. One of the satyrs there is recognizably Ashlan.
And someone's like, now, did you really have to be nude for the sculpture? He's like, yes, I did.
It's the classical tradition.
It's like, all right, but do you really have to be nude right now?
Yes, classical tradition. Yes, because in a love septangle, there can either be a complete circuit of, each person has a crush on one other person, none of which are requited, ultimately coming around in a full circle. The other option, you can have the polyamorous love septangle, which is where each person has a crush on exactly the three people who do not have a crush on them.
And Sullivan is rubbing off on you.
I don't know if I can manage that, but
Right now, do we actually want to engage with the kingdom management minigame at all? Because we can just switch it to automatic.
I feel like we've at least got to, give it a look, but we may switch it to automatic pretty quick.
Now the problem you do run into is the game gives you a -4 penalty for using mercenaries to be advisors, which is irritating.
And we can still use the party members as advisors, right? We can just leave them here all the time.
You don't have to leave. You don't have to leave anybody there to be an advisor.
Right, but I mean, we can just
Yeah.
have them.
So we can just use them as a party as a fighter.
The -4 penalty is kind of dumb, though. Like, in fairness, I guess.
Like you can game it pretty easily because then you can have everybody have the same alignment as you, and they'll make the choices you want. And you can also min-max them for having the right skill, but also their pre-made characters are not interesting enough for me to care. Like, I can definitely see not wanting to interact with them because none of them are that interesting.
I do like Lindsay, but not a whole lot of others. I mean, I guess I could see about Tristan, potentially.
Princess, stop calling me Baroness.
It shouldn't be that hard to, all depending on how much voice acting is involved, to have a number of different options for what title you can be addressed as.
Wouldn't a baron be like a vassal to somebody anyway? Like, we're not a vassal of anyone.
Yeah.
Like
even if our realm, our domain is so small that it is of roughly barony size, we should nevertheless be like a petty queen.
Yeah. Like, the River Kingdoms is vaguely based off the Holy Roman Empire, but there's not even a Holy Roman thing where, like, there's not an emperor we all answer to in any sense. Like, we're all independent. This is really just a region.
I'll check into it.
How's your queen? You know, every conversation Sullivan has with another person ends with the, unless they explicitly say otherwise, ends with the assumption that they have now accepted her as their queen. And we've got to name the kingdom. Now, in the tabletop game we played, we never...
Not enough. Lands that have been in my family for generations, I have no idea what you're talking about, officer.
In tabletop, we had never figured out a name for the kingdom. Cameo came up with an excellent suggestion, though, of Solomantopia.
What would be an appropriate flower to name our kingdom after?
Oh, man. I mean, she's a naiad, so some sort of water flower, like a water lily. Oh, let me see if I can, hold on. Right, the national flower of Wales, daffodil.
The daffodil polity.
Sullivan is a naiad, so a water lily makes sense. Let me see what the...
Queendom of the water lilies.
Oh,
Water
and
lily,
the scientific name for water lily involves the word nymph and then a bunch of vowels.
I mean, I do fairly regularly name things after various scientific names for chamomile.
That we can name it after the Welsh woman who was made out of flowers, Lladwellt, which I want to see you attempt to spell. So close. It's Bloudewedd. Bloudewedd.
Stuck a Q on the end of my first guess. I figured there's always some curveball letter in there.
I do think Solomantopia should still be on the table. Like, are we not sold on that?
I do feel like it should be a flower of some kind.
All right.
I'm actually kind of leaning towards Land of the Water Lilies.
I'm fine with that.
So that's... Now, there it is. Nymphea K. Something like that.
Is that how you pronounce that?
Nymphea Ka, some-ish. There are just a whole lot of vowels on the end of there, so I'm not extremely confident in it, but from my knowledge of Latin, yeah. Nymphea K.
Nymphea Kea.
Yeah.
I like it. Nymphea Kea.
Formerly Nymphea Kea, but
Known by
colloquially,
its people as Celibantopia.
the land of the water lilies, colloquially.
And we can claim the outskirts.
Okay. Nothing built yet. We can't have that. Okay, for starters, how do we... Here we are, advisors. The obvious thing.
Well, Lander has the highest stat.
And he's a twink. I'm sure this will be fine.
What could possibly go wrong? Tristan again.
Yeah, once again, a twink. Okay. We're out of twinks. Ragangar sure doesn't count.
He does have the highest stat.
And I mean, he's at least some kind of... Like, I would bet money that he's a green hunk underneath that shirt, so... Okay.
Treasure, somebody is also a guy you can recruit.
I refuse to have Harim as our high priest on account of he is worst cleric ever.
Then we could do the other guy, Jod.
But I refuse to have him as high priest on account of Erastil is dumbest god ever. Kiernan, you have a positive bonus. That's good enough for me. You're up. Portrait isn't properly sized for that. That's annoying, but whatever. The important thing is...
Now,
And, yeah,
Treasure, there's a guy we can recruit now, so we don't have to put somebody incompetent.
Yeah. I mean, that would be in keeping with Selwyn's
How dare you?
arc in the...
I don't know what you're talking about. About how she kept appointing really competent people?
You know, people who, like, directly undermined some of her highest priorities
That
of
doesn't
her
sound
government,
familiar.
like not getting set on fire.
I'm not sure what you're talking about. I don't remember any of this.
Okay, fuck the Church of Erastil. I guess we'll throw them a bone if you got nothing better to do, but...
Or we could pillage the temple. Are you gonna pillage the temple?
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, we need a treasure for that, don't we? Okay, we're going to make some effort not to totally fuck up, so long as we can stay on theme here. So, we will have Tristan, not Lander, attempt to claim... Holy shit, I didn't say advance 8 billion years. I just said get started on that.
Alright. We are now queen of the outskirts.
Yeah, that took like a month.
And now we can found a town. You got a 65% chance of success, or a 90% if you...
I've got a crisis point available. And fuck bandits, we can't be having that. That ain't good.
Alright, so the giant weed, who's more capable of dealing with this?
I mean, Tristan is objectively more capable of dealing with this. So, once again, we will attempt to... Harim seems to be worried and wants to discuss something. Well, fuck Harim. And advisor.
The moment we leave this screen, we're gonna have to talk to him. They don't give you a choice. Also, our kingdom's chaotic neutral for some reason. That's really weird since we're lawful good. Is that a bug?
Does our kingdom have an alignment?
Yes, it does.
Where is that
But
listed?
we've only been making lawful good choices because Solon is so lawful.
Oh yeah,
good.
there it is. And we gave ourselves a Latin name. That makes us lawful automatically, doesn't it?
What languages are chaotic?
I mean, Celtic, obviously, the Celtic ones.
That's nonsense.
I mean, look, when the favorite game to play is how do you think this name is spelled?
Because that's a fun and very orderly game to play.
A fair is kind of like a ball.
It is. It's definitely, you know, a celebration, a party of some kind.
Will there be a dance?
Okay, so these are both celebrations. Question is, do we want a luxurious dinner party or a fair? Because I feel like Solomon could have a good time at either one, so...
She could.
I don't know, a fair seems like it's a better venue for handing out flower crowns, though.
It does. And also there's more people, so more ways to instigate drama.
Alright.
Make
Now have Harim walk in so I can tell him to fuck off. Fuck off!
And you have to be nice to him either way.
Yeah, and so I'm going to do the one that he expects will bring him more pain.
Can he make love potions?
Alright, let's double check, see if anything is cropped up on the screen from any of that. Okay, and how do I start this rank up project?
Click on rank
okay,
up.
now it is available.
Pick an advisor, but he's busy. So we're going to have to wait. But in the meantime, we get to go out and have an adventure.
Right. Which is what I was expecting we would do when we had that. I forget what that project even was. But I said, yeah, we're claiming the outskirts. I was like, yeah, let's claim the outskirts. And then apparently I just spent the next month lying around this throne room, like...
You claim the outskirts by holding a dance for a month, and then when the dance is over, the outskirts realize how cool our kingdom is and join us.
That is now my headcanon.
As I recall, Oleg's trading post was just part of our kingdom, like, from the get-go. Also, we founded our capital on that sycamore, which I was against because, like, it wasn't anywhere important, and, like, clearly the capital should be on a river, and we were 1 hex away from a fork in the river, which is a good place to put a city. But not only am I cursed by Fortuna, I'm cursed by whoever the god of convincing people of things is, when you're right.
Probably
Which I
Apollo.
guess Apollo, yeah, Apollo did that, so at some point I must have pissed off Apollo as well.
How do you make so many gods angry?
I'm not doing anything. It's probably your fault.
I mean, I do have just so much hubris.
The whisper of the wind, the strength of rivers, the luxuriant growth of the meadows.
Do you see what the Guardian is how the Guardian is describing herself?
I will show you a place where
As, like, exactly how Selwyn described herself. So,
Yes.
blatantly villainous, biting off our style.
Ask her something.
The stones in the yard, which I remember as a seed, a shadow. Forgive me, nymphs are not made for cities. The noise and vanity of human settlements vex me. I will answer all your questions. but
Say you're happy to help. There's a conversation I'm trying to get us to.
So long.
Oh.
Was this
I messed
it?
it up.
Because
As the ground waits for spring.
Did I mess it up? We asked for the question, but then she didn't give you any additional dialogue. Maybe we already experienced it. There's a thing where not only do you have her describe herself exactly how Selwyn did, there's one point where she describes her past about how she wanted a fairy tale kingdom, like out of a story, which I'm sorry, did Owlcat Games use time travel in order to observe our game and copy Selwyn? Like, I'm starting to wonder.
seems reasonable. Here are.
Did it bug because, like, you said you wanted to ask her questions, but then she wouldn't answer any questions. Like, it was just the same dialogue, right?
Yeah.
It must have
Although
bugged.
she did say that she would answer questions when we came to see her, so...
But no, there's a conversation where she describes how she got to where she was. I wonder if that was something earlier that we missed.
Possibly, because I'm not diving super deep into a lot of this, because the dialogue is occasionally interesting, but often not especially, so...
But yeah, she does the whole wanting a fairy tale kingdom thing that Selwyn did, so...
So they're portraying Nerissa as being basically the same as Selwyn. Okay, excuse me, Tuskdale? I am queen, I get to name these towns. We're not calling our capital fucking Tuskdale.
I don't know if there's a way to change it.
There better be. Changeable name or riot. Here we are. Alright, so I gotta go track down Nettle. Yeah, okay, go find Bakken. A curse is gaining power. What am I supposed to do about that?
It is a project. But I think you have to wait a little bit.
Well, in the meantime, let's go see if we can figure out how to get to a bald hilltop. Let's also throw a level onto Ashlyn. Yeah, stealth is in a bit of an arms race. Let's go ahead and keep pumping that up. Ah, we're getting to level 2 spells. Cure moderate wounds. Always handy to have more healing on hand. Heroism, I seem to recall, is a fairly good buff spell. I guess this hilltop sure is bald.
So, have we considered the possibility that Nerissa in this game is actually Selwyn?
I mean, I
Like
think we're considering it now. Like,
I don't know if you can do anything here yet. Like, until the event procs, I don't think anything happens.
well, alright then. I guess I'll come back later. Great. So now, where is the exit? There should clearly be an option to exit here.
We're trapped. So as long as we're in this apparent sewer level, what would you do with Fae?
I mean, the obvious thing to do is to simply make them nature spirits. That would be sufficient. With that said, I do like the idea of having them be, and this is very similar, like this is the same essential vibe, but I like them as spirits of anti-civilization. Like, basically, give them a less sort of environmentalist bent, which you can often get into with, nature spirits. With nature spirits, you can often get, a sort of, oh, the pollution in the rivers hurts my soul kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Which...
maybe down and to the left? Then keep going left, maybe?
I think I already tried this part.
It might be hidden by your character bar. Hit M. Yeah, this is where the exit is. It's just hidden by your bar.
Well, then how do I unhide it? How
I
do
guess zoom
click
out a
on it?
little. I can see it. It's right by Selwyn's portrait. You see that little circle?
There it is. Okay.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. But as you were saying,
Masterfully designed game.
yeah, that's not the last time that's going to happen.
Yeah, again, there should have been multiple exits, and none of them should have been like that. But yes, rather than that, give them very much an opposition to civilization, where they are a sort of force of the reclamation of wilderness. They are, if not kept at bay, they simply cause civilization and technology to break down, right? So, they're gremlins and wolf spirits out in the woods. And, yes, they resent the intrusion of mortals into their lands, but they are very capable of fighting back. At the point when the mortals need... Okay, so once again, this is a random encounter with nothing. Yeah, at the point when the mortals have, stealth bombers and shit, then yeah, maybe they need an EPA. But that's a long time in the future.
I liked what you did with the seasonal courts as well.
Yes.
With them each having it's sort of like what we talked with the Magnus archives. It's like the Magnus entities are fear entities, but they all have these different undercurrents. So each seasonal court has this emotional undercurrent. Autumn was fear, winter was nihilism or despair, summer was passion. I don't know if we ever found out what spring was, ironically, since Selwyn was from the spring court. Was it creativity?
Spring was creativity and hope.
Which is ironic, because they were the most firmly aligned with Narissa.
Yeah, that was basically an accident of the haphazard way in which I created them. See, I'm on my trackpad now, because I'm... So, yeah, everything has gone horribly wrong.
I like seasonal a little better than feely unfeely, because that is a little too easy to fall into good and evil, which I want to avoid that sort of super dualistic thing. It gets a little too Christian-y, and there's already way too much Christian undertones in D&D.
Yeah, there's plenty of other things that can do that, good versus evil shtick if that's what you need for the current story. You don't need to slap that onto the Fae.
And you could try to make it so feely and unfeely don't correspond to good and evil, but you're gonna probably end up at them being good and evil. It's very hard to avoid.
Where are we going?
We're gonna go and claim this thing.
It's fertile land. Who's in charge of camouflage?
Right, because we no longer have our camouflageur. So what we're going to do, we're going to... Alright, so this fella is very good at... Wildheart is his name. He's exceptional at keeping watch. When it comes to camp camouflage, the best we have is Selwyn, but she is the queen, and so I'm not gonna break our theme of having Selwyn not have any job at camps for a +3. So we're just gonna leave that alone entirely.
Oh, and Ashlyn can learn new recipes. If you go to the inventory screen.
Yes.
But we're gonna have to do a random encounter because we did not try to hide our camp.
We're in our own territory. Who's encountering us?
Maybe they've come to pay supplication to their queen. Right? Right? Maybe? We're gonna have to give somebody ranks in stealth.
I might reassign someone else.
Oh good, we're all flat-footed. These camp ambushes get really old really quick.
Do they not know we killed the Stag Lord?
Also, there's 3 of you, and there's 6 of us, and also 2 animals. We're clearly an adventuring party of some sort.
That's right, I gotta gear Blevin up. No idea how kineticists work.
What?
Oh, I have no idea how kineticists work.
You have to use their blast.
Apparently Sullivan was knocked down. And just hadn't done the appropriate animation for it.
We can do it!
Remember to use charges now.
The monitor lizard did all of 3 damage.
Strike with all your might!
Hooray! If you go back to the little camp thing, we can finish our rest.
Oh, yeah, not finished? That's...
Nope. We're all fatigued. You can see the little blue icon.
Oh, yeah.
So click on the campfire, and they'll all, we get to finish our rest. And now you can manually leave the campsite, because that's a really interesting thing to have to do.
We also must gather our party before proceeding. Yeah, there's definitely there's a couple of rough edges on this game.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I do think they made some serious improvements on the basic formula. Oh, hey, that's new. On the formula that the original had, that is. Ah, okay.
If you go to the fort across the Skunk River, we might be able to get the Economist. I don't think that's his title. Treasurer. Economics haven't been invented yet. Are we just going to claim all the resources, though?
Yeah, I'm gonna run around because we've got a couple of minutes left, so let's grab them. But yeah, one thing with the Fae, like, I think they should have, and this actually kind of gets into the same thing with the Magnus entities. I don't think there should be a specific number of
Fae Lords.
Fae courts. And there's just,
Right.
I like the 4 seasonal courts,
Arrest is in order.
hence, I used them. But that should not preclude the idea that there are additional Fae courts out there.
Like a Court of the Monsoon and the Drought. Or Court of Day and Court of Night. We need to have somebody doing stealth.
Okay, but Ashlan's cooking is fantastic, so we gotta keep him on that.
And Sullivan is queen.
Alright, Princeton Gray is doing stealth. He's got a +2, that's not terrible. And,
I think you put Blevin as in the watch.
yeah, they're both decent at that. Fireheart is actually really good at the watch, but...
He just stands in the campfire. Oh, he's successful.
Come on, man!
You just praised him. God, this all gets very old very quickly.
The random encounters would not be such a hassle if they weren't just, here are some enemies, go and fight them.
Well, like, when we ran into random encounters, there were more ways to resolve it, and usually it would be more meaningful, like... And also we could run away, and we should have run away more than we did, especially at first. Like, we still have not run into any shambling mouths, which I'm a little disappointed about.
It's also, every creature you randomly encountered had some kind of motivation for attacking you. So even if they did attack immediately on sight, they would at least, there we go, charge. You could interact with them and they would have something to say. Like, these goblins, why are they here? Where do they come from? Do they represent some kind of goblin polity that we could negotiate with or conquer?
Goblins are ready to attack, I am your queen.
Like, for some of them, just a battle cry would have been enough. Like, I remember with the kobolds, like, if they just shouted, "Revenge!" while they were attacking, then, like, that would have gotten the point across. I would have known why they were attacking me, and that would have made beating them up a lot more meaningful. I mean, the loading screen on these encounters definitely doesn't make me any more charitable towards them, that's for sure.
Yep.
Alright.
Strike with all your might.
Wait, that was with the Fire Blast, right? I selected the Fire Blast.
We won't falter.
Did it not work?
I don't know, but I'm running away just in case. Okay. Let's do something about that.
Falter.
What happened?
Oh,
the
there's
Conjurer.
Yeah, Bandit Conjurer behind us. I hadn't noticed him. Well, there we
Hooray.
are. I figured out how to play Kineticist.
And now you are unstoppable. Trophies left at somewhere on the road.
A rest is in order.
Anything else out here? I don't think so.
rest is in order.
Now we'll roll up, talk to Bakken. See if Oleg
Let him
needs
know
anything.
Let them know that we're their queen. Don't call us Baroness.
Princess is also
According to his-
acceptable.
Princess is actually preferable. What?
This place appears to be very much on fire.
I think it's just a rainstorm.
I also had my entire party in here, which normally is just Sullivan, so... No option to get him as an advisor or anything. Well, that was quick and easy. But Sullivan got a level out of it.